Hey, it's Danny from Carp Global in Preston, and I'm super excited to introduce to you these things, which are Liquirigs, and these are for the anglers out there who use zigs. Right, so most anglers use a zig, right? Have you ever used a zig rig? Do you know what a zig rig is? Back in the day, as I'm getting old, back in the day we used to call the zig rig the loony rig, because you'd have to have a certain state of mind to use them. And zig fishing has evolved over many years. We used to use these things when we were like 13, and literally the rig would be the length of the rod in deep water, and it would be a nightmare to cast, even harder to catch and actually land the fish on it. It'd be super weird, hence the name the loony rig. But as zig fishing's evolved, things like the adjustable zig, you know, all sorts of different systems for working on the hook, etc, etc, this is the latest innovation, and this is something that you're going to be super excited about, right? Because this is a little zig liner, and by a liner, you know what I mean, right? It's the little thing that goes on the back of the hook, and you can see there in the little picture just how this is going to look when you add it to your hook. So basically you're going to thread your a liner up your hook link, however long it's going to be. If you're fishing an adjustable zig, you might have it at 2 foot off the float, or if you're fishing straight off the lead, as I prefer to do, you know, a foot under the surface, whatever that may be. And you'll find the depth with the marker float or by using your sort of watercraft knowledge, right? So once you've done that, what you would do, use something like PB Products Clear Skater line, which is designed for floater fishing and zigs, and you'll make yourself a length of line to the depth of the water, so that your zig rig, your little free offering, just floats at a level where the fish are kind of swimming, right? So you might start a foot under the surface, and then if you're not getting bites, you might move it down to 2 foot. Does it kind of make sense? So what you will do is you'll get your length of line, and you usually use like a size 10 hook, right? You don't want a big massive hook sort of hovering around in the lake, because it'll scare the fish, and it'll be difficult for the little piece of foam that you're going to attach to your little zigger line. It'd be difficult for that to hold the hook up, right? So you want to use like a size 10 hook. Again, PB Products, it's got you covered, right? So the super strong or the jungle hook, size 10, whichever, we've got these in stock, right? So you make your rig as normal, and all you need to do is literally tie this hook to the end of a length of line that means you've got enough height off the lead for this to hover at the perfect depth for you. So if you're fishing a foot under the surface and the water's 6 foot deep, you make a 5 foot length of line. You tie your hook on, use a Palomar knot, or you can use a knotless knot and cut the air off, kind of makes sense, or you can put it on with whichever knot you feel comfortable with, right? If it's a grinner knot or whatever you use. Personally, Palomar knot, it'll never break, the line will go before the knot, and that's all you need to do. Then what you do is you thread one of these little caps or little aligners onto the rig from the other end, and you position the sort of little tail end of this over your hook shank. So as you can see in the picture, this is better because you can see the hooks in dark. You've got this little bait, this little cap, this little sort of aligner on the hook shank, and what that aligner does, that little tail, is it means that when the fish picks the bait up from whichever angle it sort of attacks your zig rig from, it means that the hook will flip round and the point will find home in the bottom lip. That's the intention, right? So let me pick these things back up. So you've all kind of used the zig rig, you make your length line, you tie your hook on, you put your aligner on, and on the back of your aligner, normally you're going to put a bit of foam, right? So you get a little bit of coloured foam, whether it's black or yellow or red or white or whatever colour you're catching on. The good thing with the zig rig is it literally is a piece of foam, and some people think, how many fish have I caught on this piece of foam? It's unbelievable, and you think sometimes that surely this is not going to catch a carp. A zig rig with a piece of coloured foam will catch fish time and time and time again. For some reason, whether it represents an insect and the fish thinks it's food, or the colour just annoys them, or it's just that sort of like, I've got to investigate sort of instinct that carp have got. Whichever one of those things triggers that bite, a zig rig can be something that will literally outfish any bottom method, you know, on the right day in the right conditions. Generally, you need a bit of sun, you need a bit of wind, fish are up in the upper layers, and if you see them cruising around and you think that you know you're not getting anything on the bottom, then go for it. Try the Zig rig. It's dead simple, right? You need the piece of line, you need a hook tied on, and you need yourself one of these little aligners. So normally we put the little bit of foam on our aligner at the back. Liquirigs, as the name suggests, have changed the game a little bit by not only giving you these pre-cut pieces of foam to go in your little cap or your little aligner, they've also develop these little capsules, right? And these little capsules, which you can buy separately, you can buy in a full kit, like the full kit's a tenner, right? So even if you're going to spend a tenner, you're going to try these things. Even if it catches you one more fish all year, it's worth a tenner, right? And you can buy the little additions, so you can buy extra little capsules, little cylinders. You can buy caps on their own with just the foam, or you can buy, like I said, little refills as well. So what these do is these little cylinders allow you to fill your Zig with a liquid, and look, these guys have come with their own liquids as well. You can use any other liquid. Ideally you want one with like a little point at the end of the bottle, so it's easy to do that, to fill your little cylinder. Or you can use a syringe, obviously no needle at the end, you don't need a needle on your syringe, but you can use any sort of syringe just to fill these little caps, these little cylinders, with the liquid of your choice. So what does that mean when you're out zig fishing? Not only do you have the usual visual attraction, you've now added an additional layer of attraction by giving the fish something that in particular waters they've probably never seen before. Often what we would do as anglers is we would dip the bit of foam into like a glug or something like that. That's short-lived. These little cylinders, these little capsules have hold enough liquid to sort of ooze out from your zig over the course of an hour, couple of hours, right? And that gives you a little bit longer on the attraction levels, which are going to draw the fish in from a further distance. And if you use the right liquid sort of at the right time, you're giving yourself an edge over just a standard piece of foam. So that kind of makes sense. So what you can do with Liquirigs, not only can you use the little capsules, which will give you a slow release of your liquid of your choice over a period of time, you can also just simply squirt some of the liquid into the actual cap and then plug it with the foam at the bottom. That comes out a little bit quicker. So if you're fishing a runs water where a zig rig can usually get you a run within a matter of seconds even, then the second method, just literally squirt a little bit of liquid into the cap, plug it at the bottom with the foam, cast it out, and as soon as it hits the water, the liquid's going to start to release. It's going to create that frenzy, especially if you're spodding over the top. So a good one would be to spod like a sloppy, wet spod mix that hangs high in the water. So as it hits the water, the fish literally come to that like a dinner bell, right? So on the right venue where zigs are dominating, you need to keep spodding. Once you get it right, then fish are just going to take your zig no matter what. If you're reliant on a zig that's going to be out there for a longer period of time, you want to add that liquid attraction. You can either make the slow release with the capsules, fast release just by squirting it in. But one way or another, you are stacking the odds in your favour of making that hook bait a lot more attractive. Now, these things come in different colours. You get the different refills. It's probably a good idea to start with a full kit. If you don't have the rest of the gear, get yourself some line and some hooks as well. You can add one or two of the flavours and then build from there. If you get results, then you're going to add the different colour capsules. You're going to add some more different coloured caps, and whichever way you go with it, having these in your tackle box is going to give you an advantage over the other anglers who've not seen this yet. It's a brand new product. Everyone's super excited about this from the trade shows. We've just got our first delivery of this in Carp Global, and we can't wait to send these out. They're light, they're easy to carry, you can reuse them as long as you don't snap. Which obviously we don't recommend you do. As long as you don't snap your line, then these should last you a fair while. And with the interchangeable foam, it'll work with other zig foam as well. You can add this to your zig arsenal and you can fish in confidence knowing that what you're putting out there is giving you that extra advantage over other anglers. So it's Liquirigs. They're in stock now at Carp Global. We've got quite a few in. You can grab them straight away from the website as soon as you watch this video. The link's below. The liquids are in, the little refills are in, all the various different caps that, so we've pretty much got the full range. If it goes well, we'll add more of them, but these are coming on with me. I can't wait to use them on my next session when I'm fishing zigs. The sun is out, the weather's definitely right for it. Get yourself some orders, you'll have them in a few days. Get yourself out on the bank, see what you can do, and if you have some success, all the other bits and pieces, all the other flavours are there. Check out the clear skater from PB Products and the hooks that I've showed you as well. You're not going to be able to go wrong with it with this setup. Dead simple, and you don't even need to take any bait with you. What could be more simple than that, right? You guys, get on it. Liquirigs, it's Danny from Carp Global in Preston. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.